Welcome to Big Al Says. Real truth, real stories, no fluff. Let's get into it.
Are you a teenager who bets on games, sporting events, or any other thing? Do you like to gamble? Are you a parent of a teenager? It's time that everyone wakes up to the teens and younger kids gambling. This is a lot bigger problem than most people might expect. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Big Al Says. My name is Al Szolack, a former professional basketball player and a man recovered from addiction. I've been a motivational speaker for over 30 years, speaking in schools, colleges, churches, and the different organizations with my national award-winning Do Hugs Not Drugs program. Today's topic is something that some people have never ever thought about, and that is teenage gambling. Today we will discuss the truth about teenage gambling. I have to add a little footnote to the teenage gambling because during my research, I found out that kids are often starting to gamble at the age of 10 years old. Can you believe that? Let's face it, risk is part of growing up. We expect teens to test the limits as they gain independence. We also know that when young teens experiment with alcohol, substances, vaping, teens put themselves at a higher risk for addiction later in life. Gambling is another less recognized risk that actually impacts the brain development, believe it or not. Young gambling is widespread with over 75% of students gambling in some form or another, with 4.8% of them having a higher serious risk of issues than adults. How can it start, by the way? Watching or joining in adult card games, or maybe as simple as scratching off a lottery ticket purchased by a parent, betting on a sports team or a game, online games, fantasy leagues, where there is money always involved for the winner. Who knows? Because there are so many things that they can bet on today. And there are even skill-based games to bet on. And youth with gambling problems are at a higher risk for substance abuse and future adult disorders. When you are watching sporting events on TV, look at most of the commercials. They have all different types of gambling apps on TV. They're mostly advertisement for gambling websites. Heck, they give you so many choices, you could probably bet on how many times a player wipes his butt a day. My wife and I were at a Phillies game last summer, and there were 3 college boys about the age of 20 sitting behind us. And they were betting on almost everything that happened. Whether a player would get a hit, whether a player would strike out, whether the next pitch would be a ball, whether they would walk, hit a home run, and all different types of things, constantly betting on their phones. Families are breaking up because of gambling. People are losing their marriages and their kids, losing their homes, losing their jobs. And also, I just talked to a young lady about her father who lost his life, who lost everything, their house and everything. And then he ended up committing suicide and killing himself. There's a risk of suicidal thoughts and feelings. In extreme cases, teenagers overwhelmed by the consequences of their gambling may develop suicidal thoughts and feelings. The emotional toll can be devastating, and professional help is crucial. Teenage gambling has increased the rate of teenage suicide. So please, both parents and or the gambler, get the help you may need. Parents, set the proper examples for your teens and talk to them. Teens, open up to your parents if you are gambling. There is no shame in asking for help. Believe it or not, you can't win because you're betting on something else that you have no control over. You're trying to make an honest bet, but just look at the fixing of the games in sports. There has been NBA players arrested and referees arrested for fixing games. The National Football League, you have one bad call can make a difference in the game. Like in one of the playoffs this year, where a guy caught a pass, hit the ground, rolled over, and a guy on top of him grabbed the ball and took off. He should have been considered down, but that had a large effect on the game. College basketball players being arrested for point shaving. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw it or not, but there was this football player this year running down the sidelines with nobody in front of him, a clear field. He's on the 20-yard line, running down for a touchdown, and all of a sudden he runs out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Why? You tell me why. In 2025 and 26, federal and league investigations have identified specific instances of game manipulation, NBA gambling conspiracy, indictments against the NBA players, and a coach involving game fixing. Major League Baseball players, where they caught two Major League pitchers. I believe they were from Cleveland that were fixing the first pitch of the game, because you can bet on that, whether it be a ball or strike. And they arranged with their friends to bet that the first pitch was going to be a ball. And guess what? They would throw a ball on the first pitch of the game and collect the money. The NCAA basketball banned 6 players from their involvement in gambling and throwing games. This is only the tip of the iceberg. Here are some things that just happened that could be questioned. Like I said before, the last play of the semifinal football game between Miami and Ole Miss, the referee did not make that pass interference call, which was clearly pass interference. It would have won the game for Ole Miss, but it would have given them one more play to have another chance to win. People are human and they make mistakes. But sometimes we have to ask the question, was it really a mistake? Because we don't know. Here are some practical tips for parents to protect your young people from gambling harm. Be a good role model. Explain how gambling works. Discuss how gambling advertisement works, just trying to lure the kids in, making everything sound so good. Play your child's video games. Limit the amount of screen time. Don't allow your children to use your credit card. How to support a young adult with a gambling problem? Educate yourself about the problem gambling. Have an open and honest conversation with your kids. Set boundaries and limits. Seek professional help if it's needed. Encourage financial responsibility. Offer support and hope. This teenage gambling is a big issue, which is getting bigger and bigger every day, which is starting to cost our youth their lives. Be proactive about gambling to prevent you from having to react to the problem that comes along with gambling. The only one who wins are the casinos and the websites. You can't beat them. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section. My program is called Do Hugs Not Drugs, because it was a hug at the end of my addiction that helped save me. Plus, I never heard of anyone dying from a hug, but I have from drugs. For more information and videos, go to my YouTube channel, Big Al Says. My priorities in life are always: number 1 is God. Number 2 is my beautiful wife. And number 3 is my family. My favorite Bible verse is Mark 10:27. All things are possible with God. Not one thing or 2 or 3 things, but all things are possible with God. And just like Charlie Kirk said, I personally want to be remembered for my courage, for my faith. Stay tuned for more interesting topics on my YouTube channel, Big Al Says. May God wrap his loving arms around you and your family. Talk to you soon. Peace out to my brothers and sisters. I love you all.